Okay, the time is now 6:32. We are in session. A notice is hereby given that a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas will be held on Thursday, July 24th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. at City Hall 22870 Priest Road, Sandy Oaks, Texas, where a quorum of the City Council will be present. All agenda items are subject to action. You can join the meeting at the Zoom link provided on the agenda or on the website. The public will be permitted to offer public comments in person, telephonically, or by audio as provided by the agenda and as permitted by the presiding officer during the meeting by signing up with the city secretary at least 15 minutes in advance of the meeting if providing comments in person. Thank you. And at least 2 hours in advance of the meeting by emailing the city secretary or calling 210-607-0834 if speaking telephonically or by audio. An audio recording of the meeting will be made and will be available to the public in accordance with the Texas Public Information Act upon written request. Madam Secretary, may I have a call to order and a quorum call, please?
Pro Tem Madero,
Here.
Alderwoman TJ Walker,
Here.
Alderman Tremblay,
Here.
Alderman Rapino,
Not here,
Alderman Dillinger,
not here.
City Attorney is present, and City Secretary is there. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Citizens to be heard. People wishing to speak may sign up with the city secretary in the time and manner indicated above. Let's see here. At this time, we do have some people signed up. Let's start with Mr. McNeil. You do have the floor. It is now 6:34.
Hello, everybody. So just coming back up, I sent a couple of y'all email some pictures of the ones I've been corresponding with since like January, February. On the lot next to mine, 23322 Copper Canyon Drive. They've gotten a lot of stuff cleaned up, but we still got a 18-wheeler that butts our property, and it's like we sit on our porch and we got this big ass 18-wheeler, excuse me, this big 18-wheeler trailer right in our face, and they got that junk car right next to it, and a dilapidated building. You know, it's just a freaking eyesore. So, that's it on that topic. The other thing, if I'm still looking for volunteers for that police complaint board or whatever, I'll go ahead and volunteer. Just send me whatever training I need to take care of. I'll be glad to help out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McNeil.
No,
Yes,
don't leave his contact information.
I do have it.
Okay.
He's ready to reach out.
Perfect.
All right, let's see. Up next, we do have Mr. Terry Reagan. You're gonna wait for your agenda item, okay? And then last I do have Mr. Chris Cavazos. Mr. Cavazos, it's now 6:35. You have the floor.
This is in regards to agenda item 7A under new business in regards to withdrawal from the Via Metropolitan Transit Authority and related to taxes. And I just wanted to state, most people who've been around know I am for this. I was for it the last time it came up. And I am confident that were it not for Via threatening us to pay our portion of their irresponsible debt, it would have passed. And we've basically been paying for service we're not receiving. So hopefully y'all found a way around that, and that we can proceed with this and move on and use that money instead for the betterment of the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cavazos. All right, there are no other persons signed up to speak, so we will move right along. Updates and announcements, trying to think. So I did have a sit down with Via. They are asking to meet with us at the next regularly scheduled meeting, which would be August 14th. Other than that, I mean, I did speak with Ms. Tensey. She's a part of the the Waterwood, the Oaks at Waterwood Development. They did speak with the city of San Antonio and received whatever approval they needed to be annexed. So I need to send you a follow-up to move forward or what we need to do. But they've agreed to allow us to annex, is what she said. There might be more to it, but that's what she's told me. Other than that, I don't really have anything else for updates and announcements. All right. So then let's move along to the consent agenda. Consent agenda, council of this, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, then item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
I guess we brought this back in the last meeting,
Yes,
the reconciliation.
yes, sir.
So we still have these items, I guess with checks without payable payees. We can,
If
Yeah.
you want to discuss it, we need to remove it from the consent agenda
Okay,
and
yeah.
then talk about it
All right,
afterwards.
well,
please.
I would like to move item B, make a move to remove item B from the consent agenda for further discussion.
I second.
We don't need a motion to remove it. Once somebody wants to discuss it, that's it.
Ah.
So I just need a minute to finish reviewing the updates that were made to the meeting minutes.
To the minutes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. If no one has anything to.
I do have a question on item A as well.
All right, well then.
I'll
We're gonna
go-
remove
I'll-
that, both items from the consent agenda to discuss them.
I'll start with the minutes from July 10th. Under item 10, Parks and Recreation, states Alderman Fillinger spoke on the meeting he had with the other council members
Yeah,
on July 1st. I think it should
committee members.
committee members, misleading to the public whether he had an open meeting.
Gotcha.
So if we could just change council to committee.
Yep.
That's all I have on that one.
All my comments were incorporated, so I had no issues. Well, I moved to accept.
Wait, you need a motion to the amendment. Second.
Yeah, I move
I was-
to amend.
I second that motion to amend. 10A.
Okay, so I have a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Mayor Pro Tem to amend agenda item 10A to strike council and insert committee. That sound fair?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, that motion carries. We will insert committee. No,
And I'll move to approve agenda item 5A
As a.
as amended.
A second.
all right, so I have a motion to accept agenda item 5A as amended by Alderman Tremblay and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
All right, all those opposed? All right. We can move along to the expenses. So I did as we discussed last meeting. A couple of pages were missing. There was, I think there's 26, 25 in total. And the version that I had provided was about half that. I think just due to a typographical error of me entering manual dates instead of selecting last fiscal month. But nonetheless, the latest version does have everything that should correlate to the reconciliation. In fact, our Mayor Pro Tem sent me a few questions asking about some lump sums, which are in fact multiple payrolls, right? Payrolls are lumped into one. Call it a $10,000 entry, and it consists of 5 or 6 employees built into it. So
I did review all those items. Thank you for getting that back to me.
Yep.
Is the SAD report considered part of Ms. Delma's monthly budget report?
So that's an interesting question. So it's a part of what we provide on the website, right? So it's a part of our financial.
Right, but we're
I
ready
don't-
to approve her report, and if this report with the details we need to codify her report isn't considered part of her report,
Hmm,
then her report is still missing that information. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, no, I see where you're coming from, but I don't agree. I don't agree because yes, it's more work to tie the two together. The reconciliation is the fact that the bank account has been reconciled against the QuickBooks by an independent party, right? That's the point of the reconciliation. Now, everything that's in there is consistent with the statement of activity detail. So I agree that the reconciliation doesn't have enough information, but it's not Delma, it's not me, it's not anybody else that's doing the recon between the bank and QuickBooks. Rather, it is an independent party, which by the way of the audit was what they requested, right? So our independent accountant has certified that what is in the bank matches to what is in QuickBooks. So while it is missing some information, it has been approved by a separate party.
Right, but that separate party didn't look at this particular month.
Yes, they did. They reconciled it.
Oh, so that's not Delma doing that.
Right.
Has this always been an issue with these blanks, or is this just a recent development with some sort of update to
I don't-
click in maybe?
Well, maybe, right? Because one of the things that Catherine didn't have was the online version of QuickBooks, right? And so that software went stale, I guess that's a better.
So have we always had blanks in the report? Or you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay,
But you asked the question, all right, what's
Right.
changed? And I'm telling you what's changed, and then you
So,
stop
but-
for answering. So what's changed is that the software has changed from what she was using
I didn't
to,
ask what changed. I just asked, have we always had blanks?
Yes.
Or has something
I-
changed to cause the
I
blanks?
think we've always had blanks. because
We've always
When you
had
come in,
blanks,
you
okay.
start listing all the expenses. And you come into the same department where the expenses all occurred in the same department, or they were all like fuel was all on the same credit card. It's all gonna show up that way. Pilot's gonna show up as one expense in there. Same thing with the income. When you look at the income, you find a whole line of deposits where it's not gonna break down that this deposit was from Joe Smith who paid a fine, and the next one was from his uncle Smith who had paid a fine. It's not gonna show every list. It's gonna bulk them together by department. So,
This is
without
just an
without
issue in the
having
past. It's not
without
something
getting
new, is all I wanted
QuickBooks
to know.
to modify their program to show every, every expense by receipt. Every one of them broke down. I just don't think we can get to that point.
We didn't have as many blanks. We had blanks. We didn't have as many blanks when we were using the software,
the desktop.
the
version.
desktop software. But Delma and I are meeting on Tuesday to look at the setup for the online, because I don't have this problem with my other clients. It's only the city seems to have this problem,
Yeah,
and
and it could be we have a lesser version too, what's needed.
it's possible, or there's a number of things that could be. I don't think it's anything Delma's doing wrong or anything. I think it's something in the setup of the software.
However, I do believe that this is a confirmed reconciliation, right? Because it's reconciled by an independent third party, which is by JD and Associates. It's not done by the person that is doing the financial transactions in the bank account.
Sure.
So therefore, I believe it is, although it may be missing some explanations, it is a reconciled statement.
I do have a question though.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are all these expenses outstanding, uncleared from December and there's one from February?
Then we have an uncleared deposit as well for 59,000.
Yes,
Yeah, the 59,000, I don't know the answer to that question. Not right now.
because those December ones are
Yeah, this is for sure.
quite old. And I noticed they were all, the December ones were all from a specific date. Yeah.
But we made a deposit of 59,000 and the bank hasn't cleared that either. So like, did they get our 59,000 or not?
I don't think it means that it's not cleared in the bank. I think it just means it's not reconciled in the report, but I don't know. I'd have to get back to you.
Alderman Tremblay, did you have some questions? Could you?
Yeah, it was basically the bring up fact that we brought this back because there was blanks in the report that we were wanting answers to. The ones that stand out are anything that has a check number, which should be easy enough to trace.
Yes, it is.
Right.
And they're all in the statement of activity detail,
Right.
which I get is not the answer, but the context is there.
And as far as, again, the uncleared stuff going back to December, is there some way we can trace that stuff to
Yeah, most
be
definitely.
tracked?
Yeah. I will say, guys, I sent this on Monday,
Yeah.
and if I can get some responses with some bit of time, the way the Mayor Pro Tem has, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have. But asking me on Thursday night, when you've had it for 3 days, not acceptable, man. You put me on blast like I'm doing something wrong, and I have no way to go back and say, oh, well, that's what this is, or that's what that is. Give me an opportunity to be,
I
give you
don't
what
think
you
it's,
need.
it's not
I know,
that you're
I
doing
know.
something wrong.
Right.
It's just that if it's a blank in the report, I think we're trying to get to the point where we have explanations on, especially checks.
Yeah, and like I said,
You are the approving official. for
the
checks, correct?
explanations are there in the statement of activity detail, right? If you pull up both files and you look between the two, you can get the answer that you want.
Yeah, I did a quick find. And
Yeah.
I identified to you the ones I didn't find.
Yeah.
And those expenses that Alderwoman Walker pointed out in that uncleared, that's got nothing to do with us. I would just request that we try and find out.
Yeah, of course.
Why, I mean, because it's where it should be on our report, but what's the bank doing? Why hasn't it cleared kind of question, if we could ask those.
Yeah, and I have no problem answering questions.
Okay.
Just give me some time to do it.
Well, I would move that we approve the expense report for June. With the intention that we find out if these uncleared charges show up in the July account, that we start finding out or what's going on with these uncleared transactions. That's the motion.
I'll second that. So you're saying if they still exist in the next
In
report,
July, then
we need answers.
We need answers, yeah.
Yeah,
they show up in
yeah,
July.
I definitely. think that.
So I have a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Mayor Pro Tem to accept the June 2025 financial report with the stipulation that if the uncleared checks and payments and deposit show up in the July reconciliation, that we provide an explanation. Fair?
Yes,
Sure.
sir.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. I'm gonna do a little bit of jumping really quickly to be fair to some people that have joined us online. Let me just find the item here. It is agenda item 6E. It's now 6:51. We do have Crystal Hayes on the line. Ms. Hayes, you do have the ability to share your screen. we do have our screen presented on our TV. So can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. So if you want to go ahead and take the show over.
You got it. Let me do that for you. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And first of all, Honorable Mayor, council members, staff, thank you very, very much for allowing me to be here tonight to share a little bit about Muni Code Codification Services, which is part of Civic Plus. Civic Plus is one of the leaders in the GovTech industry. They've been around for 25 years. I came over with the MuniCode team when they purchased us in 2021. We have been around in the codification industry almost 75 years. So we've done a code or two, a time or two, so that's great. But I did want to share the screen, and everybody can see the screen here. This is working better for everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Thank you. So this just shows you a little bit about who Civic Plus is, how many customers we're currently servicing. Our overall goal is to make government work better, right? It's to help staff be able to streamline their workflow, their processes, to be able to respond quicker to citizens and residents and to gather that information as quickly as we can. We have a variety of softwares that actually integrate with each other, so it makes their processes even easier and it makes more of a real-time response. For instance, we have a section of our codification that if you were to approve ordinances tonight, the city clerk there could literally go into the minute module of the software on our agenda meeting management software and push that right out to the public in about 5 to 15 seconds. So we have some pretty incredible things that we have going on, and we're continuously working on it. I will say that our codification services do meet the new Department of Justice ADA WCAG 2.1 level AA requirements that are there. In fact, our team is actually aiming for the level 2.2 level 2A. So we're trying to do above and beyond because it is a moving target when we're talking about technology and ADA compliance, but I know that's top of mind for everybody. Obviously, we don't want to get in trouble for anything we've done. Now, Mayor and I have reviewed different ARG services, and I have presented an offer, a proposal to y'all. Do y'all have that in front of you, or do I need to go over that?
Yeah, if you can, I think it was in the last meeting that we initially discussed the topic. I don't think
Okay.
it's in the packet as of today.
Okay, perfect. Well, let me pull that proposal in here then so everybody can see it. This is the Sandy Oaks, Texas proposal. My fellow Texans down there south of San Antonio. I'm up by Denton, so I'm going to scroll right down here, right to the good stuff, which is the pricing and how we're going to bill that out to you. And I'm going to also talk about what that codification project will entail and kind of review that for you. So codification is the act of categorizing and organizing all of your ordinances since your incorporation into a code of ordinance that's more of an outline format that has title, section, and title, chapter, and section. And in the codification project, we will take all of the ordinances that staff has sent us, and we will begin that codification project. Once we get everything organized, we'll send that over to our attorney who will go through it and do a full legal review. The legal review will outline and identify any errors, inconsistencies, redundant or duplicate ordinances. It will find anything that contradicts itself or conflicts within the code. It will also make sure that everything that is in the code is in compliance with state law. And then the legal review is then sent to the city staff where we would need responses from them. Obviously, if there's a question like over here you use the word dog, over here you use the word canine, which word would you like to use? We can't answer those questions, so that's where city staff has to kind of help us weigh in on those answers. We'll take all of those answers, incorporate them back into the code, and issue a draft proof. This was where the city staff would be able to go through it once again, give us the red ink or the rubber stamps, and we'll make one final change to the entire code, send a final code of ordinance which would come back before the council for formal adoption. It will have that adoption ordinance that basically says if it's in the code, it is law, it's enforceable. If it's not, it's repealed in its entirety. That's really key for us because if cities have had natural disasters or other acts of man or even nature that has somehow destroyed records in the past, this will help us kind of reset that foundation and start from fresh. And it'll give us a brand new code that we can actually work from to amend and update as we need to, depending on your political environment there in Sandy Oaks and state level mandates, things like that that come up. Okay, and that entire project is a large project. It takes about 18 to 24 months. So this isn't something that's you're going to give it to me today and we're going to get it back to you tomorrow. It's not going to happen. There is a lot of built-in time frame to go back and forth between the city and give everybody time to do what they need to do. But with that, the initial cost, I know you're looking here and it says 9,520. That would actually be divided over 2 fiscal years. Okay, so we can see right down here on the invoicing, it says 25% of at execution. And then we talked about the legal memo. When that legal memo is issued, that's the next 25% payment. When we get to that set of proofs, the first proof, then that's the 25%. Of course, delivery of the final code is the final balance. And that is how we're going to build your code. Once we get your code built, we want to move into a code management system. We want to keep your code up to date as often as we can, and we want to make sure that it is online and accessible to everybody. So with that, we will employ our supplementation services. Our supplementation services, I think we mentioned 3 times a year, Mayor. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look at my notes. But we'll update your code 3 times a year online. And then once a year, we'll consolidate all of those changes, send the printed copies to the city so that staff can update their printed books. There will be 3 printed books that are included along with the tabs. That's the first part of your code management system. The second one is the online hosting. I went ahead and went with the bundle. I will say 99% of cities that I work with choose the bundle because of the services that we offer online. They're really second to none compared to other codifiers and anybody else who hosts codes online. You do have the option of downgrading that and just going with the basic services if you wanted to, or if budget was a concern. Does anybody have any questions about that at all?
EJ, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if you do, even if you want to interject while I'm speaking, I do not mind at all. I'm used to it, so I'm happy to help answer any questions. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump in here and let's talk about a few things, right? We do have a myriad of additional softwares and products that we can choose from. I don't want to go into great detail, but I did want to show this screen and show you we have websites, rec management software, mass notification. So in case there's an emergency or an urgent situation that you need to notify your constituency quickly, that's available. Social media archiving, 311, which is a project management or a project response. So a citizen sees a problem, they can report the problem, and then it'll route it through the city. That department goes out and fixes it. They can take a picture of it and we can send that back to the resident that says, hey, this has been repaired. Thank you very much for reporting the down traffic sign or whatever it may be. We do have process and automation digital services, so we can help you automate any process that you have in the city there. Next request is our open records management. So if you do get a lot of those, we can talk about that service for you. Community development, planning, permitting, licensing, inspection software, so that it moves that from a manual process to an online electronic automated process, and you're able to pay all of the fees and things that you need online. Agenda meeting management software, we talked very briefly about that. Codification, that's all I do is codification. And then our newest member of the family is asset management. So think about every single thing that the city owns or is responsible for maintaining, managing, or inspecting and staying in compliance in some way, shape, or form. That is a perfect software for you guys to look into. And it also has a utility billing portion of it. So those are some of the tools that we offer. I know it's an awful lot. I don't want to go into great detail, but the mayor knows that if anything else they want to look at, they can definitely reach out to me. I'm happy to connect us to the right account representative here in Civic Plus so that we can make sure we get the right person as quickly as possible. All right, so I went ahead and pulled up your ordinances just so I could see where we're working from. And I do have your ordinances here as well as your resolution. I did find, just from my own point of view, and I did used to be a code enforcement officer for the city of Carrollton for 10 years, as well as I have been with MuniCode now for almost 12. I did find them to be a little difficult to search. They're not hard. You can get to them, you can search them. But if I wanted to search all of them for a keyword, I can't do that. So it is very time consuming. It's very hard to keep up with it. So what I want to do is move to MuniCode Online and show y'all what your ordinances could look like if we go this route. So on this page here is our Texas customers that have online codes. We do have some that from a long time ago that don't have them online, but there is a host of them here. So you can go to library.municode.com/Texas or TX, and you can see all of the cities that we host online. And there are a bunch of them. I think I found the closest one to you, which was around that area, which is Elmendorf. There are several more around your area. But let's jump in here and let's take a look at a code online. So over here on the left is your table of contents. So this is what your ordinances will be organized into. So it will look like this. So if I'm able to open up this title, I can then see that I have 2 chapters underneath it. And I can go down here to the animal section. And let's say I have a resident asking me about whether or not an animal has to be vaccinated in the city. I can click that link. It takes me right to that section, and it tells me right here what the requirement is in this respective city for registering or vaccinating animals. In our codes, throughout our codes, you're going to have cross-reference links, and that's what this is here, which is a simple hover over, if you will. I'm not clicking on that link. I'm just simply putting my pointer over that section, that link, and it's going to give me a pop-up preview. So it allows me to see whether or not I need to navigate there before I actually spend time to do it. A lot of time in code is wasted going back and forth or just trying to find what you want. So we're trying to make that process easier for everybody, not only for city staff and for the elected officials, but also for residents and developers and contractors. Because if we don't make it easy for the developers and contractors, they're not going to look at us for economic development opportunities. And that's what we need to keep our cities moving forward, right? So we do have some quick links over here. We can grab the link, push that out to social media for some Did You Know, FYI, public information campaigns. We can print, we can download to Word, or even email it out. Let's say you're out to dinner and a resident walks up and says, hey, I understand we have to have our dogs and cats registered in the city. How do I know what that requirement is? You can literally pull up this part of your code on your phone. It is mobile responsive, which is a step above mobile friendly. So you can pull it up on your phone, navigate to this section, simply dog and cat registration, click the email, and you'll get this right-hand pop-out box over here. I can then select anything I want to select. Maybe I want to send them the entire animals chapter. Maybe it's certain sections. And I'm going to hit this next button. I can put the email, the recipient's email address here. So, hey, guy, what's your address? Email address. I'll send this over to you. Copy yourself or copy the city clerk or the mayor so everybody has a copy of what you're sending out. And it also is good for your records if you're responding to an open records request, but it's going to send them the link to the code that explains to them what is required. And that is just a tool we've made so that it makes it easier for everybody to utilize in their day-to-day workflow. Now, what I have done is gone ahead and searched animals here. At the very top, actually, let me show you one thing before I jump back in there. We have also built in Google Translate. So let's say you have a constituent there in your city, a citizen, a business owner who speaks a completely different language that doesn't understand or as well as they would like to understand English. Clearly, I'm having a hard time talking English tonight, so I apologize. But I can literally click on, let's say, Spanish, and in a matter of seconds, the code is converted into their native language for them. And I don't know if you noticed, but there are a ton of languages to choose from over here, and you can select any one of them. It'll convert it. I'm going back to English, though, but I know that is very important to us when we're talking about being able to read and understand what we're required. So I went ahead and searched animals here. You'll notice that the system is already trying to tell me where I may want to go based on either where I've been or what's been popular in the searches. I'm just going to click here to search animals. And you'll notice when it pulls up here, it gives me the option to shows me what's in the code, what's in the ordinance or documents. Now, these are some of our premium features that are in the bundle that I showed. But I did want to show you part of our integrations. So our website search and our code search, along with our social media archiving search, are all integrated. So if I wanted to say, find out the what is required, I'm going to find that out in the code. But why it's required is more than likely going to be hosted somewhere else. Or let's say, if I wanted to find out if you had a dog park. I'm not going to find that out necessarily in the code. So I can search the municipal website. I'm going to go ahead and right click that so I don't lose my spot. And you can see that it opens up the city's website that we've built. It shows the animals, it gives all the additional search features, and it starts to really kind of connect those dots and help everybody find the information that they need to find. All right, so right here in my search results again, I can come over here and I can deselect anything that I do not want to include in my search results. For instance, if I'm not interested in animals in the water or sewer or storm drainage, I can literally deselect that. I can come over here and in each section, I can see that breadcrumb trail that it tells me that this is in the animals chapter. Then I can see this one down here is in the traffic chapter. Maybe that's not the one I want. Let's go back up here. Let's talk about animals running at large. Why not? I can click either this box here. I have those quick actions that I can do right away. I can navigate to the code by clicking the link. And when I jump into the code, again, you'll see that the term I search is highlighted. Every variation of that word, including synonyms, you'll find. And more than anything, my search results follow me. I don't have to leave them on another page and toggle back and forth because, again, that wastes time and energy, and we all are at topped out max on that. So anything we can do to streamline that is beneficial. We do have next and previous hits. So as you're going through it, you can hit that next button and keep scrolling through. Or if you wanted to, you can come down here and page through the results as well. I am going to show you one more thing. We can put public facing notes in our codes throughout the codes for you when we're setting that up. And all we need to know is what you want it to say and where you want it to redirect. In this case, this is the zoning note that they wanted redirected to their GIS map so that it becomes an interactive tool and not just a standalone map. You may the county's GIS map there, and we can certainly link to it. We just need to know where you want it to link and what you want that to say. And I don't want to go into great detail about the GIS map, but we do build them, and we can put the layers in there that redirect that where you can show and see the allowed uses and the accessory uses all of the zoning, fencing requirements, all the things that you need. But that option is available to add on if we wanted. Does anybody have any questions so far? Are we doing good?
I think we're okay.
Okay. I'm going to jump in here. I'm just going to show a couple of our premium features that I think you guys are going to appreciate there in your city. The first one is obviously our banner here. So we can take your banner from your web page right here, the same colors, the same logo, and we can put that at the top of your web page on MuniCode. So it gives that marketing, that branding, that feel that you're still with the city information. We have also built out something called Code Bank. So when we take over your code, we're going to start at supplement 1. Every single time we supplement your code, we're going to bank those versions. That's really helpful when you're talking about grandfather clauses or zoning or having to research older versions for whatever reason. And our developers built on top of that. It's called CodeBank Compare. With CodeBank Compare, I can come in here, and I don't want that one because it's not going to show me enough. I want one that's going to show you some good stuff. All right, so we're going to come in here. We'll just go to this section. It does a strike through highlight for me. The current version, most previous version, it's automatically showing me what was changed. So we can go to each one of those and see everything that was changed between those two versions. So if you want to see what that new ordinance actually did, here's your answer. We can also go further back in time by clicking the button here that says compare versions. We can choose any 2 versions, and it's going to give me a strike through highlight of those 2 versions so that I don't have to spend time doing that strike through highlight and trying to research that. From a research perspective of an enforcement officer, that is significant. If you're planning and permitting, let's say a house has to be, it falls within the guidelines that it can be rehabbed to its current or its previous state. It doesn't have to come up to current law. Well, this is exactly what you need so that it makes that process easier. That's just one example of how you could use this tool. You also get e-notify. So you can have every single online user come in here. They'll put in their email address, tell the system what they want to be notified of. Maybe they're a fencing contractor and they want to only hear about the fencing changes because that affects their business. They come in here, put their email address in, tell the system what they want to be notified of, and click submit. Every single time the respective sections that they have requested to be notified of are updated, they'll get an email that says Sandy Oaks Code Online has been updated. Click here to see the changes. So it is a proactive way to stay involved and to stay up on the city's information as these ordinance changes keep coming. Okay. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is OrdBank. So in between supplements, we don't expect y'all to stop passing ordinances. That's just not going to happen. So as you continue to pass those ordinances, we're going to ask your city clerk to email them into us. As soon as we receive them, we'll post them out here in this section. It's called OrdBank, but it's the ordinances that have been adopted by you guys and passed. They just haven't been incorporated or codified into the code yet. So they're going to be in this holding zone here until we do the next supplement. But the good thing is they're fully searchable. So if I were to go in here and search sewer surcharge, which I can do, sewer surcharge. See this new ordinance here? That is the ordinance that sits on that front page and it pulled up in my search results. I can click this link here. It can open up. Pardon me, let me go back to my main page. If I wanted to click any one of these ordinances, I can click that ordinance and it will open up as well. And that is the ordinance that would be emailed over to us. And that's what we would post. All right, and I'm going to show you my absolute favorite one, and it is called MuniPro. We spend a lot of time researching and drafting ordinances and trying to figure out what the best wording is in an ordinance to be very specific so that they're enforceable and they don't get thrown out of court. That's a key. So MuniPro allows, we have one licensed seat in the bundle, but it allows you to come in and do a search. It will search every single code, ordinance, or document that we host online. And by doing so, let's say I'm going to search solar panels. It seems to be a big one lately. I can search the entire United States. I don't want to do that. I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to search Texas solar panels and I'm going to hit search. Once I do that, I can come in here and decide, do I want to see all the cities in town? Sure, let's leave that alone. But then I can come over here and search it, filter it out based on population size. Because when we write ordinances, we want comparable ordinances to cities in Texas our same size, because face it, we're not San Antonio. We don't have San Antonio's budget. So we need to be reasonable with what our compliance levels are and what we're asking for. And this is very helpful, and this is the best way to do it. So I search solar panels, and this is showing me all different types of information. It's all going to zoning, of course. So let me just click one. We'll just go here to schedule of fees. When I'm in here, so this is the permit fees for solar panels. I can draft an ordinance off of it. I can put a note in it and save it and come back later. All of that information is housed on my dashboard. I can even save searches so I can come back to it later, but you can see all of the drafts that people are working on. And I'm signed into my MuniPro, so nobody else other than myself goes in here, but you can see all of the ones that I've put notes on that maybe I want to come back to later. But I like this section as well, so I can go in and set up a notification section to find out what my neighbors are doing, or my county, or even anybody in the state. And I can see what they're uploading and changing in their code. So right here, I can see the code of ordinances. I can see the sections that have been modified, and I can see all the new sections that they've added. So I can literally keep up with the Joneses right from my computer. There's a lot of times that we borrow other ordinances from other entities, and this is the easiest and fastest way to do it. That saves a lot of time, energy, and effort on staff's time and the attorney's time, so that we can get that information out and use our resources to do something else, because we know we have a list a mile long there at the city. Does anybody have any questions about our premium features at all?
No, I don't believe so. And then we can, I guess, what's the next part of or the last part of your presentation?
I'm good. If y'all don't have any questions, then if y'all want to open it up to ask questions, I'm happy to answer it for you. And if we don't have any, then I can follow up with you, Mayor, and take next steps.
Okay. Any questions by anybody? I do like the fact, or appreciate the fact that you can compare to your neighbors and you can see what other similar sized cities are doing. So as long as, now, does it have a categorization for a type A general, like a general law city, or anybody?
It's labeled city, town, there's villages, we have tribes, we have counties, and we have special districts. So in the filter section, if I go back to it, when I go back to my filter section, let me just,
I saw that, yeah, cities and towns.
yeah, so let me put solar. So it'll search something. So right here, city, county, town, village, township, parish, borough, because we have Louisiana, consolidated government, special district, and tribes. So that's what the way they're titled in here.
Okay, and then one of our aldermen said, of course, and obviously by population as well. So no, that's
Yeah.
good.
Which the population is really a truer version of an apples to apples comparison. Because again, you're not probably going to write the same exact ordinance that San Antonio, Austin, or anybody else does. You're going to write one that's respective to your size and your political environment there at the city.
Yep. Okay. Anybody
That's
else?
not to say you can't write one like San Antonio. Go for it.
Definitely. All right. Well, Ms. Hayes, I don't think we have any more questions by the council. Let's follow up in the next couple of days just to kind of get a pulse check as as I mentioned in our emails, we're still kind of discussing next steps, but let's touch base and see where we stand.
Sure, absolutely. And if anything comes up or if anybody has any questions, Mayor Martinez knows how to get a hold of me. So please just let me know. I'm happy to help in any way I can.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate the time tonight. Y'all have a wonderful night.
You as well. Thank you. All right. Let's see here. I do want to make one more quick jump. It's actually under new business, so my apologies. 7A, and I just want to talk about my meeting that I had and kind of give you an idea about it, but it's 7:22. We're going to jump to 7A and then we'll start going in order. So 7A is the VIA situation. I did meet with them yesterday. It was kind of an ad hoc meeting, but they asked me to come in, and of course I have some information that I can scan in and get sent to you just so you can review it. But as some of the big parts of it is that annually we are sending out, or VIA is receiving from us about $59,000, about $60,000 via sales tax revenue, with no expenses, right? As you know, we have
60,000 per year.
yeah, it's part of our sales tax. So as you know, there's really no expenses because they're not coming out here. When they do present on the 14th, they're going to show us some different options that we are completely eligible for, and that'll utilize that $60,000 annually and go into the red on it, right? Because it's going to cost a lot more just to get out here because of our distance from their nearest station. But one of the options that they did provide is called ART, Alamo Regional Transit. That's through ACOG. What it is it is a 24-hour system where you call in and say, I need a ride. I need to go from 22870 Priest Road to 22280 Priest Road, and it's going to cost $2 for a one-way fare. If you need to go into San Antonio, such as the airport, one-way fare is going to be $6 per person. Obviously, round trip's going to be $12. You can actually go one county over, which is $8 per person and per trip. So round trip will be 16. And then you can actually go to two counties over, and that's $12 per person. So that is a 24-hour in advance notice system. They will come and pick you up and drop you off directly where you need. That's one option. The other part is it's called Via Link. They said we are now going to be eligible for Via Link, and that is again a call in, and they will come pick you up and take you. Where did they say they will take you?
We did.
No, it's different. It's just a tiny bit. It's better than what we were doing before, because I want to say it'll take you exactly where you need, right? But don't quote me on that because I don't remember exactly all the details on it. But yeah, I was taking you to Brooks, which we would still have that option. Via Link Zone. It's called Via Link Zone. And then we would be eligible for it in November. And it's different than the one that was here previously. I remember he clearly said that. I don't remember all the details. But lastly,
But you don't remember where it would take us.
right. I mean, obviously it could take you to any of the Brooks Transit Center. It can take you to the ones on the north side or wherever it may be. But I want to say it was actually like door-to-door drop-off, if I'm not mistaken.
And previously, they weren't gonna pick you up at your house in here. You had to
They were
go
gonna
out to the.
to the Valero, right? And he did say it would probably be that just for simplicity, but I mean, somebody that who's not mobile, or at least doesn't have a car, that's a hard one.
Between now, I mean, we don't have much time, but, and we think we, tried to survey, citizens,
Yeah.
our citizens in the past. Who's gonna use this service if we go with this thing and we're gonna keep giving them $60,000 a year?
Yeah,
If we get 3 people that say they're gonna use it, are we?
no, I mean, it's a fair question, right? And I don't know, right? I don't know the answer to that, but it is an option that you can start taking some of your rides instead of taking your truck, take your car, right? I mean, We wouldn't obviously have that option if we went away, but to that point, right, $60,000. So we are relatively landlocked, so that $60,000 is probably gonna stay the same every year now and for the next 35 years,
So how long have we been paying this amount and not getting anything?
10 years. Let's call it 10 years, right? As long as we've been
So
incorporated.
we've given them $500,000.
Yeah, so
In the system we had previously, there was so little usage.
so let me let me tee up something else, right? So to those points, right, that we've been paying in and $60,000. So the $60,000 is likely gonna always stay the same, right? We're really pretty much landlocked. It's based off of sales tax. I mean, unless we get duplexes or an apartment complex or something like that in here, but 60,000 bucks gonna stay the same. So thinking about the $60,000, we would, if we were, and the number that I'm getting at is $2.4 million. That is our debt obligation to VIA for the MTA tax,
2 point what?
$2.4 million. So you would take that $60,000, it's not payable tomorrow, right? It's not a one-time debt. It would go to the comptroller. And essentially we would take that $60,000 and continue to pay it for the next 35 years. Okay, so even though we were out of it, we will all be long gone before we start benefiting from the $60,000. Now, my argument to the point is that the $60,000 is gonna always be the same. And in 35 years, when we're all gone, San Antonio is gonna be right across this highway. That's the reality of it, right? Maybe not exactly, but it's gonna be very close. So our $60,000 is gonna go a lot further because they're gonna have to operate in this area if we continue to go with it, right? Does that make sense?
And if we decide to do away with it, what you're saying is in 35 years, when we need it, it would be at a much higher
Yeah,
rate.
Yeah, but then.
How did we incur this
if we-
2.4 million?
it's just via passing their budgets and we're just a part of we've agreed to be a part of their tax.
It had been passed by a referendum and VIA wanted to increase the tax for whatever they were buying new buses, doing improvement.
And
When
wouldn't
they
they
were
do that
just-
again in 35 years when they're expanded down here and impose another bill on us?
We can only pay $60,000.
But
Because,
we could have a new bill in 35 years.
Sure.
If they do another referendum or something and we'll be paying 60,000 for another 40 years.
sure,
So it's everybody in the county that's paying it, it's not just.
Yeah.
It's everybody in the county, within the county.
I think the counter to that idea though is that we're gonna always be obligated to pay something, right? As long as we're in it. But I think we're gonna far out, what's the word I'm looking for? We're gonna outspend the $60,000 in 30 years with the level of service that comes out here. Right, so there's gonna be, let's just make believe it, there's gonna be a bus line here, right?
Yeah.
There's gonna be a parking right, yeah, go ahead.
If I can just, at this point, it's sales tax.
Yep.
It's a 1/8 percent of a cent sales tax.
Yep.
If we forego it, then the city is gonna end up having to pay that $60,000, whereas if it's a tax
Well,
right now, the
they'll
tax
continue
is
to-
in place and they just continue getting the tax money from the state comptroller.
We won't have to pay it, right? They'll continue to collect the tax for the next 35 years. I don't know if that's the exact number, but in a part of our sales taxes, they'll continue to collect their $59,420 or
Mhm.
whatever it is. So yeah, we won't have to go and pay anything. We won't have to cut a check, but we will still be obligated to pay the debt. So
But if we withdraw,
in 35 years, we will be out of it.
but what's the point of withdrawing at this point? If we're stood, it means nothing. If we vote to withdraw, you know, and then they're sure not gonna offer us any services. At this point, they're offering you a couple of olive branches there. And,
I know, I'm just,
you-
but again, right?
You almost gotta take what they're gonna.
I want,
offer.
yeah, and I want y'all to hear exactly what they want to present to us, because that's the part of it that's not here, right? Is that I have the revenue and we've got zero expenses. So it looks like garbage, right? It looks like we're paying them for nothing, and that's exactly what it is. But what they want to do is come and present and show how they can provide service for us to for our residents to utilize this $60,000.
And how will they advertise to make sure our residents are aware of this service that they're willing to provide?
It would be in conjunction with
They
this.
did come out a few times in past and had flyers. They came to a couple of meetings and had some flyers. They did do some information,
did a public-
briefs.
Yeah, public hearing.
But,
So we're paying them out of our sales tax, and we've been doing it for about 10 years, and we had a rough period where we tried to use their services and it didn't go well.
Right.
Because there weren't a lot of people that utilized it, but now they're gonna try and offer us a couple of new options for the citizens to use to get into town. Or even just around in town, it sounds like,
Mhm.
as long as we give them 24 hours notice, and they're gonna come and provide us information about this at our next regularly scheduled council meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But I just wanted to present y'all to that because I did have a meeting with them. And I thought it was informative at least, and they need to make it right. It's just, do we agree?
I know I've spoken to their people down there, and every time we would go, it'd be somebody different we would meet with. Oh, that person's not here anymore, this person's taking that over. It was always like they were just picking somebody else's desk. But we've traveled this road.
I mean, I've looked at the options of what it would take to use public transportation to get to work every day, and it's not easy.
It's not.
So, I mean,
Not if it's not taking you door to door, it's a challenge.
Right, Elmendorf no longer has their bus stop. They do have a park and ride that may be close to happening somewhere around here. I don't know yet. He did say, we notice y'all have some empty property here. You know, could we make a park and ride there? They do have an option to where they provide a vehicle. It's weird. So they provide a vehicle, a van, right? And let's just say there's 10 people in Sandy Oaks that work within proximity of each other. They'll finance the van, but then the 10 people pay the note on it, and they all carpool in that one car, right? So it's not the perfect idea, but they provide the fuel card, they provide the car, they provide the insurance, and then those 10 people,
so there's 10 people are at least on the car.
$40 a month or whatever to pay the $400 car payment, you know, yeah. And it's,
So they're talking about this land right here next to City
Uh-huh.
Hall.
And I told him that's
thought
not
someone
ours.
bought that.
somebody did, and I told them that's not ours.
Yeah,
That's not a really good idea, but I thought it was an interesting option that they would have that. But then I told him, I was like, this isn't 25 years ago when everybody was working at Lackland and you had a bundle of people that worked at the same base or at USAA. Now everybody's remote,
yeah.
you know, so it's a good option, but I don't think it's viable in San Diego.
A city park would be better than making people come all the way out to the Valero.
Yeah, because it's a little more central than everything, so.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of parking.
Again, but I just wanted to clarify that it's a sales tax.
Yep.
It's not a fee that the city is paying
Right.
out of our pocket, so
Correct.
it's a tax, and so it's an equal tax. Everybody's paying that. You go buy.
So when you buy
something at the
something at the
You're
grocery
paying
store,
that. You're
or at
paying
the
that.
Dollar General, 1/8 of
Right.
percent of the tax you pay goes to them, so it's not a bill that the city
Right.
receives.
Right.
The
Unless-
comptroller takes part of the taxes that being paid to
Yeah.
them from the city and pays it.
Unless
Correct.
withdrawing from that service allows us to erase that 1/8 of a cent sales tax, it's really.
It doesn't save the
serves the
citizens
purpose, it
anything.
doesn't serve the purpose, it doesn't do anything.
But how do they get the 60,000? I mean, is it like?
Sales tax is collected, it goes to the comptroller. The comptroller takes that 1/8.
But, yeah,
sends
but
it
how
to
do we
VIA.
know we make 60,000?
Which annually, it's
and
estimated.
It's an
That's what they're
estimate, and that's how
collecting.
much our sales tax is, so it fluctuates based on how much the sales tax is.
Annually,
Because it's not a set dollar amount,
Right.
it's 1/8 of a
1/8.
percent, which is approximately 60,000.
Right.
Okay, that makes more sense.
However, I don't see us growing to where maybe, like I said, if we get an apartment complex, if we get duplexes.
But then we're making more money because we got more people
that's
here
property,
buying stuff.
that's property
So-
tax, that's not sales tax.
Well, but I'm talking about the number of people, right?
Right.
So
Right.
an apartment complex, you got 1,000 people now in one area, not 25 people in those houses that were all
Right.
half
If you-
acre
if you
lots.
lose a commercial business, then that 1/8% is gonna shrink as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, the Dollar General goes
businesses.
away, you know, then we've lost a lot,
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Anyways, just wanted to give y'all heads up on that.
Thank you.
So,
And just for, if the deadline to order the election is August 18th, so if they're presenting August 14th at that meeting, it would need to be ordered at that meeting or a special meeting called
sort of, yeah.
by the 18th, or on the 18th with 72 hours.
So let's.
Our
be
meeting's
sure-
not until the 14th. Oh,
Yeah,
because the first is on.
the second.
It's the second and the fourth.
So
So
we need
I
a
would,
special-
move that we be sure to, have, this item on with action,
Okay,
for the next meeting.
they'll be here, so we'll figure out then. All right.
And
Let's,
it's, I think it's every 6 years you can call the election. If this were to go forward, fail, council.
Can't
needs
do
to
it again for 6 months.
interesting.
I need to clarify that because the statute I see first, but I think this is why it's coming up again, because the last time the city did it was 6 years ago.
Okay,
So there's
So
no
I'll
way
just clarify whether that is
to-
6 years, but
opt out and cancel the tax collection. There's no way to do it.
You have-
We're in it for the long haul.
you have to, until you pay off the debt. And then you can start collecting or assigning that tax to something else. And the debt is based on the population of the city.
Maybe we need, I can send them an email and say, tell us how you came up with the 2.5 million or 4 million.
But I don't know if they base that on a census or like the 2020 census, or if that's based on an estimated population as of today's date. I don't know where that population. Are they at population?
so we
See,
just
we're-
pay 1/8% of our sales tax until we pay off whatever the debt is, which you estimate is 2.4 million.
Well, no, that's what they estimated.
That's what they
That's
estimate.
what they told me. No,
Is that the remaining or what we started with?
I don't know. I didn't ask that question. I was like, oh, okay, let's have a
10
bit of
years, 10
discussion.
years of paying, that could be lower if that's.
Yeah,
what
right,
we
we-
started
20
at. I don't
years.
know.
It would be
Simple.
good to explain to the citizens why we're paying via $60,000 or whatever a year. Because we withdrew from the.
Yeah, and I mean,
But they're gonna keep collecting, so it's, again, we're not gonna.
yeah, we're not gonna
we're not
just
gonna have to
go into
pay
a
them.
surplus of $60,000
Right.
next year.
Now, if we make the decision not to vote on it this year, we could make the decision to do it next year. So it's not the 6 years, it's the
It's the
decision,
election.
the election, to have them vote on it. It's only, every 6 years limit only applies if we put it on the ballot and it fails.
Correct.
If we decide not to put it on the ballot next year, we could discuss it again and decide to put it on the ballot next year. We don't have to wait 6 years to discuss it again, just to clarify.
Right.
So we don't have to feel rushed if we're uncertain. We can postpone it for a year. And yeah, it'll cost us another 60,000, but we'll be able to investigate further and make sure we're giving the right answer.
And I'll check with the comptroller whether it is every 6 years, whether that's still a valid, whether that's still what
But
the,
the 6 year limit is only if it's on the ballot and it
Yeah,
fails.
yeah.
Okay.
and then all the, every time they are. So 2.4 million may not be the same in 6 years. In 6 years, it may be different because they're still incurring debt and Sandy Oaks becomes responsible for that new debt as well. My understanding.
Just so it doesn't go up more than 1/8% of the sales tax. Because the sales tax isn't gonna go down just because we canceled.
Right.
So,
But if we.
We might as well
lower-
start
If
getting
we
some
lower our
progress.
tax rate, the city,
Well,
we're not gonna do that.
okay.
All right.
But by staying in, right,
Still more questions for them to answer, I think, when they come in 2 weeks.
yeah. And I mean, they're supposed to have the green line at Brook City Base. They're supposed to have rapid transit at Brook City Base. And so if we can, I mean, if we
Yeah,
could
if
figure
they
out a
both-
way to make some of this work, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad deal, but I don't have I'm not gonna be around for 35 years to see the benefit, so.
Well, I plan on,
Do you?
I
Good.
mean, yeah, I'm-
they're gonna have a plaque up in the entryway. there.
The David
Oh,
Tremblay
the-
City Hall
yeah,
Center.
over it.
All right.
That's Sandy Oaks.
All right, let's go back to the top. Let's key it up. It's 7:40. We're going to 6A. Discussing a possible action on amending the personnel policy.
All right, so the point today is not to discuss the personnel policy and the details of it, but to show what we've got to provide to you to review so we can bring it back later for discussion. Now, of note, and I've already sent the mayor these files, there's going to be a Word document that says with track changes, and then a Word document that says with the changes, meaning that the changes have been incorporated into the document. I've also converted both of those to a PDF, just in case folks are more comfortable with the PDF. And then the fifth document that I'm providing is the salary information, and I have the mayor has that to show to you guys so I can explain it. So what I want to do, and you'll have to turn around, Alderman Tremblay, is talk to this. So we've been back and forth on this a couple times, and in this document you'll see. So if you go down to the bottom of the table of contents, this will be the first example, and we will need to update the table of contents. Now you see how go down a little bit further, so you can see the comments. See in the bottom it says format of table, so that is highlighted in yellow. That means I'm asking for the council members to review that item and then look at the comment that we've provided to the side of what it is that we want to talk about in terms of that highlighted item. So you'll see yellow highlighted items. You'll also see some of the comments have the initials CCO, and that is because this document has also been reviewed by our city attorney, and she has made some comments that I feel we need to discuss rather than us make the decision to incorporate. And for example, like this first comment is just about the format of it. Do we want to put the items in the table of contents in alphabetical order? What kind of font do we have? Now, if you go down the next section, you'll see how the text is different colors. Now, these are edits that have been made as tracked changes so you can see. And if you don't want to see the track changes and you just want to see what the final document is, then you can look at the other version of this. But here you can see what was deleted, what was added into it, and then a comment. And then you'll also see the second comment box is something that's been moved. So if something was moved from one section to where it's at now, or was removed and placed somewhere else when I've deleted it from in here, that just means it's been relocated. Just so you can see what is this doing in our personnel policy. It'll tell you where it came from in the original personnel policy. So again, not highlighted, so not a point for discussion unless you have concerns with these changes that have been made. But I wanted everybody to be able to see the changes that we've made to the document. And then there was a couple other topics that the city attorney brought up that we needed to discuss in terms of this also. So one, she said that we passed ordinance 2117 adopting policy on political activity. Do we want to incorporate that into this document? So it's ordinance 2020-117. Should this be part of this? And again, we can discuss it at the next meeting. The next is the PUMP Act, time and place policy. Does this belong in here? If so, where? Mayor, do you have a recommendation on where a lactating mother can pump with a good location somewhere? We have to provide that. City attorney could explain better. But we need
To make my office.
to provide a location other than a restroom. And so where does it belong in here, and what does that want to be? What should that be in here? That was the second item.
Does it need to be in here, or do we just need to offer it?
And that we can have as a discussion when we pull up this. Do we want to put it in here, or do we just want to make it available? And the city attorney can also let us know whether they're required to put it within our personnel policy. And then also, there's also policies that are specific to the police department. So do we want those incorporated into this document as a separate section that only applies to the police department, making this even longer? Do we want to incorporate it in the SOP that the police department has? Do we want a separate personnel policy manual for police department specific? Again, a point to discuss. We can have that conversation with the chief when we're here at the meeting when we're discussing that. So that was the third topics that the city attorney mentioned that we need to discuss, as well as all the highlighted items, and then any concerns you have with what we have changed within the document. And then in here, you will also know, we also noted that, and the mayor has all these to email out. I just didn't want them in advance because I didn't want y'all to think you needed to read it all now and before I explained it. And hopefully the two aldermen that are not here today will listen to this and have this explanation, and they're welcome to, well, I guess they can't reach out to me because there's a open meeting act requirement. But also in this document is the salary. Now, I mentioned it last time, and it was suggested that I go out and look at what's out there. So Mayor, if you pull up that PDF file,
The salary file, it's not in here, right?
it is not in here.
Okay.
Yes, and the city attorney also sent me a separate document about the sexual harassment policy. So that's why you'll see in the sexual harassment section, there was a lot of changes made to it. But it's also documented in there. Yeah, that was a PDF file. Yes, that one right there.
Oh, hold on, it's not showing.
No.
Zoom.
Harassment policy of PFO, essentially.
No, I'm
Oh.
talking about the salary file. No, it wasn't. I was just telling them back to why the sexual harassment policy, which he's just now getting to, has so many changes. And if you look at the ones with the track that just says changes, it just has the changes in it, but still has the comments that highlight which sections we need to discuss. So if you don't want to read through all the specific changes, you can still see the highlights in yellow within the document with the changes. Okay, so I did a couple different things to give some options for us to discuss about the salary. So one, I also added animal control supervisor and city administrator. Neither of those two things are, as well as public works supervisor. No, public works supervisor was on there. But the city administrator and animal control supervisor, those two positions were not in the original personnel policy, so we can discuss whether to add those. But the very first column you'll see is the current. Now, this top table is what I got from the Zip Recruiter website. So they have the average, they have the low, and they have the high. And the low is like 10%, and the high is the 90 percentile, what the really good people were, really skilled and experienced folks were making. But then I divided that by 2080 to come up with the hourly. And also within the ZipRecruiter website, I was able to pull up Elmendorf specifically. So this way you can look at it and see where we are, where we compare. That's from the ZipRecruiter website. I also stumbled across this interesting website called govsalary.com. And if you go out there, you can look up an individual and find out what the city is paying them. You can look up a city and the different positions within the city and find out what they have made. And it gives you some more information, like Officer Smith has been doing this job for 10 years and he's got this experience and this is what he's making this year. It's a $6,000 pay raise from last year type of details on this site. So that was pretty interesting. So this again, I start with the current, so you have that to look at. I pulled up the annual and then calculated the hourly. So again, average, low, and high, just so we can see. And then the third one on here is the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Oh, went too far.
There you go.
Oh, you went down all the way. Go back up.
Is it on more? The,
No, you're on the next page. You're on the police department one. Go up.
oh,
on the
I
page.
see. Gotcha.
Yeah. Go.
I know it keeps flipping.
Yes, clear. So, but then the same information is provided for the Bureau of Labor and Statistics at the bottom of this page. It's because you have it set to go at a page at a time.
Yeah.
Again, starts with what we currently have in the personnel policy, annual and hourly, and that is from the police department. Now you'll notice that instead of public works, it says maintenance supervisor. That's because on the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the public works is an engineer. And we don't have that requirement of our public works person. And that's why I changed it to maintenance supervisor. And then they didn't have animal control supervisor. Anywhere that's blank, they did not have that job listed on that particular site, but I wanted to keep everything listed. Now on the next page, I've done the same thing with the police department. I went to the same 3 sites. However, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics doesn't have as much information. But again, ZipRecruiter had all of them. They also had the Elmendorf. So I plugged that in. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, you can see they have the first line supervisor and detective. They didn't have chief. So I tried to change the title in the first row if I had to use a different term from that particular website. And then if you go to the next page, the very last page, I also provided, this is what the chief provided to us to incorporate into the document. And it's got a little bit of abbreviations because like corporal, he has the basic, then he has intermediate or an associate's degree, then he has the corporal advanced or a bachelor's degree and a corporal and master or a graduate degree. Same thing with patrol officer. So you'll have to forgive the acronyms I threw in there. And for sergeant, he only has advanced and master because you have to have at least a bachelor's degree in order, an associate's degree to be a, or maybe it is a bachelor. Yeah, we have at least a bachelor's degree to be a sergeant is what he said. He did not provide a pay scale for the top 3, and he specifically stated qualifications for, and that should have been, I forgot to change it in my table. The first line should have been chief, not first line supervisor. So That's what I found in digging around, just so we can look at that as we start our conversations of what that should be. And I don't know whether the conversations on the pay scale stuff should be an executive session or not, but I just wanted to throw all the information at you. And it may take a couple meetings for us to get through it, because my intent would be to pull up the personnel policy and go through it at the next meeting or a future meeting after they have time to review it, and look at all the items that we've highlighted in yellow and stop at any point when anyone has any questions about the changes that we did make to the document. And then also discuss the pay scale so we can insert that into there. Any questions on what we have?
Because of the class of employees, you can't do executive session, it would have to be all open session, just if it's a particular individual.
Okay.
level.
Yeah, I
So-
didn't, okay, good, so we can still do it out here. Any questions on what we did? I guess you're the only one, because CJ already knows what we did.
No, I'm good. I just need the whole document, so I can
So,
Yeah.
so the,
absorb it.
You'll get 5 documents in total.
so the plan is right now for me to email everything out.
Mhm.
Okay,
But the Open Meetings Act, I don't know whether these two can contact me if they have any questions. Alderman Villager and Alderman Rapino, I think they're gonna have to go to you with any questions they have.
I think
Hopefully
for
they'll-
clarification, we should be able to go to you. We're not asking for any changes. If we just need something clarified, we clarify it, not make a change.
It'll still be a discussion, so even a clarification, maybe for the next meeting, have a list of questions and those be brought up to the next.
Well, I'm talking about these two even understanding this document, because I wanted to give the explanation of what does the yellow highlight means? What are the
Mhm.
items that you suggested that we discuss? These two will need to listen to the recording of today's meeting in order to understand the information I've presented today. Because right now, Alderman Tremblay has the opportunity to ask me any questions, or Alderwoman Walker, any questions about what we've done. These two haven't had that opportunity.
Can you include it with the document, yellow highlight means this, track changes?
I will send that to the mayor.
you want to just send forward the original email you sent me and blind copy everybody with your instructions?
I can't. I'm not allowed to send everybody an email.
You can blind copy.
No, because I'm talking to more than one other alder person. I cannot talk to 2 alder persons at the same time.
Gotcha.
I have the notes that I typed up for what I needed to present today. I can send that to you.
Yeah.
And then you can throw that in the email I've already sent to you and just forward it out.
Gotcha.
But I cannot communicate with more than one.
So
alder
then anybody that has questions needs to come to me
Or bring it to the meeting.
or bring it to them.
Maybe they just bring their questions to the meeting on the
Yeah.
14th, and then we wait till later.
Okay.
To have a further discussions on it. Maybe it's straightforward when they get it with the explanation. I don't know, but that is what I wanted to explain today. Alderwoman Walker, did I miss anything?
Okay,
Sounds good.
send me your notes and I'll distribute. Okay. Let's move right along. I will send that out. All right, 6B, update on property improvement plan provided by property owner of residential address 3807 Waterwood Pass, Sandy Oaks, Texas, 78112. Mr. Riggins, apologies for the long meeting so far, but you do have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council. I just wanted to, first of all, say, once again, it's just an honor to be able to work with y'all, and I've actually enjoyed doing this. It's been a lot of work. Done it mostly by myself. My son has helped a lot, more than anybody. So close, so close. My goal was to get the house completely done by this meeting. And I had some issues with the post office. So that burned up 2 days this week. I don't know why it became an issue, but it did. And I've tried to work with them. And for some reason, it's just not taken care of yet. So, and the postmaster is on vacation. So anyway, it burned up 2 days, just solid 2 days trying to deal with this. I mean, I got 3 businesses and personal bail, and so it's a major deal. But of course, ongoing issues with my bride and her health, So, but by next meeting, for sure, we'll have the house done,
Awesome.
leveled. So if there's any other questions, concerns,
See, the house is done.
Mhm.
The house next door is done, right? So,
Not sure about the inside. Yeah, but he's probably,
okay,
do you have a for sale sign out front or?
I don't remember. Okay,
there's the first house.
is it already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Reagan, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We'll see you at the next meeting.
Sir.
All right, let's see here, discuss and or possible action on additional streetlights in Sandy Oaks based on the map provided by CPS Energy. Have we had any opportunity to,
I've been looking at it and, I'm not sure how we want to do it, but that's definitely too many lights and we need to
Yeah.
Identify which ones. So I don't know if each of us, if we want to take time at a council meeting to discuss it, or everybody sends you their recommendations and you compile them, I mean, or send them to one of us to compile, I mean, how do we want to approach that? We definitely need to eliminate and just identify, yeah, we should probably put one here, should probably put one here. And I'm also not sure what the yellow, I know it's on the table, there's an index of what the yellow means, but can someone explain what it means, what it says?
Says white way.
I think it's a different type, it's just a different type of light.
So does that mean Priscilla's recommending we put that kind of light in there?
Oh, her yellow,
That's what I mean.
yeah,
It
I
does.
think she explained it one time, why she had different colors.
Yeah, because there's three different colored pins on there.
Yeah, where it's for, yellow, red, black, green. Yeah. there's-
Yeah, is this, I mean, is every pin just, I recommend you put a light here? Is that what Priscilla is
Yeah,
saying?
that's correct,
So we don't need to use that little index to interpret the color.
correct. We don't use the legend that that is drawn on the,
Okay,
she had a reason for her color coding. It's just been so long, so.
okay.
I
uh,
think we had at one point, we had to, whatever the street requirement was on the distance between street lights. I forget what that was.
I believe Alderman Fillinger said that was 500 feet was what CPS was recommending.
Well, I think we should go back and look at that and not put any closer than 500 feet. So I just see a bunch of them, they're just.
Well, all the holes are there, right? So I think if all the holes are there, so if we pull the pins, we'll be able to see where there's a light and then we'll be able to scale, say 500 feet from here, right? Just, we're gonna have to kind
I'm
of.
just guessing based on the scale that's provided. If we leave this light here and this light here, they're 500, and we don't have to do 500. That's a recommended. It was like, let's put one at this corner and then way over here at this corner and it's 700 feet. That's good enough, but I think that would be the next step.
So I think, yeah, the total number here of additional is,
Yeah,
it's over 100.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to.
let's scale it
We
down.
have to know which ones are existing,
They're on there, right? They are,
but we have to take the pins out.
most of them, yeah.
That
So-
would have made more sense to color code by what's
Yeah,
existing.
new,
and
we
what's
only
new.
need to see new pins, not,
Well, no, the pins that she's putting on there, that the red, green,
those
black,
are all
yellow,
new.
those are all new.
Yeah,
ones.
that's way,
Right,
Those are all the new ones. Yeah, that's what I thought those were. So every pin is a new one.
for landing aircraft.
so let's go 20, right? Let's just make up a random number.
I don't know that we should make a random number that we're trying to get to. I
On
think-
a straightaway, there should be no closer than, we need to set a
500.
limit,
Yeah.
500, 1,000.
Right,
whatever.
I mean, I think we should just look at the map and come back and say, hey, here's 23. And I think we should focus more on 500 or further. There is a scale on there. We should be able, with the pictures that we took of it, to kind of come close to what that is. And we focus more on making sure nothing is more than 500 feet. Or closer than 500 feet.
I think what we need to focus on are cul-de-sacs and curves.
We did cul-de-sacs, curves and intersections. Sometimes every intersection should have one. of
Should have
those.
some sort of light.
That
Yeah.
already-
So let's strip it down and let's just highlight the cul-de-sacs and intersections and the curves. And if there's not a light there, let's mark it down.
Yeah.
For now,
This is
right? Because
overkill.
that's gonna be the quickest way to hit a unattainable number. So when we leave, let's strip it down and take one more picture and then we'll just go and look at it from like that.
So you want a motion? Do you need a motion?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'll
I'll do that right now after we're done. Okay. So let's, let's strip it down and take one more picture and then we'll just go and look at it from like that. So when we leave, let's strip it down and take one more picture and then we'll just go and look at it from like that. Okay. So let's strip it down and take one more picture and then we'll just go and look at it from like that. Okay. Let's see. Discuss and or possible action on ordinance 2023-230 adopting regulations for manufactured homes. All right. I do believe we have,
2025 to 56.
yeah, that'll be the new number.
The new one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 6D. Yeah, so you do have the new version in here, 2025-256. And then I want to say there was the old version right behind it. Maybe not. No, but this is the clean version of all the changes that we incorporated from the last time.
So, I guess first we need a motion on the ordinance.
Yeah, let's get a motion on the floor to
I
discuss.
move, to adopt ordinance number 2025-256. Oh. Ordinance of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, adopting regulations for manufactured homes, providing definitions, prohibiting the installation of mobile homes, etc.
Okay, I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem. Do I have a second?
Also,
And a second by Alderman Tremblay. All right.
All right, so I find that there is some inconsistencies throughout the document in terms of the use of numbers. Sometimes they spell out the number and then put it parenthetical after the spelling of the number. Sometimes it's not done, sometimes it's just spelled out, sometimes it's just the numeral. I recommend that we be consistent throughout and use both. Spell out the number.
Such as in section 2, I guess this is 2F,
I have
320 square feet, so spell it out 300.
not 320, those,
Like section 11 penalty
I have.
is a place where they have both
Six.
spelled out and in parentheses. The amount,
Well,
so it's not that way.
But that's-
consistent throughout.
But that's a dollar amount. So, so going back to that one that I said, right, would that one be spelled out 320 square feet?
I'll give you an example.
Okay,
I'm trying to manually for second reading here now.
for 90 days.
Now, there's also other type of.
Or the administrator has 45 days, spell it out 45.
One.
I mean, I think the only time that it's inconsistent is with the dollar amounts. with the
And so
fees.
E, paragraph
10,
7,
7,
E,
7.
the city council within 10 calendar days from the date of the denial. Further on, it says city administrator within 30 days.
So you just wanted to spell 30? Is that
So-
essentially what?
Yes, to spell it out and then put the digits in parentheses as done in other sections such as 6I, 6C. Where at 6C it says only one, and then it has one parenthetical manufactured home per lot. They have 30 done that way in paragraph 6G, but it's done that way in 6I, but it's not done here in 7E. There's two numbers, 10 and 30, that should be spelled out.
Sure.
So I move to see same thing in 6A, 5 isn't spelled out.
Yeah.
So I move to be consistent throughout the document, to spell out the time, the digits, as well as put the digit in parentheses when talking about numbers of things, days, etc.
That be any number like under 100?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yes.
So to spell out the number of days and add digits or vice versa, right?
Is that something you would like to see on all ordinances or just this one in particular? Because
I think it should
it's gonna be common throughout all the ordinances.
We should be consistent.
Well, I
This is just not consistent. It does it sometimes and not others.
think we need to address it as a whole, not as just this one ordinance.
Well, we're going to talk about this ordinance right now.
I know.
No, but I mean, I think generally speaking, we now know to look for that in the next time we
just
discuss
should
it.
be consistent with the way we're
Yeah.
presenting digits, to the, community.
All right, so I have a motion by our Mayor Pro Tem to make our ordinance consistent to spell out the number of days and add digits or add digits. Spell out
It's
the,
not just days, there's other.
well,
other
spell out,
things.
yeah, spell out the
Any
number of,
numerical
spell out the
references.
number and add the digits
Yes, under 100.
under 100. And do I have a second?
I second that.
And a second by Alderwoman Walker. So I got a motion by Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderwoman Walker to spell out the number and add digits for anything under 100. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay.
Section 4D, as in Delta. I move to add an S to the word inspection in the phrase permits, plan reviews, and inspection.
Permits, plan reviews and inspections. Right. So you said
Yes, add an S to inspection.
inspections.
That way it matches the inspections at the end of that paragraph. So,
All right, do I have a second?
can I make a motion for all of the edits to that paragraph at the same time? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I would also move to add an S to permit at the end of that paragraph where it says cost associated with permits. Also, on the second line, it says installation of a modular home is controlled. It should be erection, placement, and installation of a modular home are controlled. I move to strike is and insert are. And finally, I move to insert the Oxford comma after plan reviews, placement, building construction, and plan reviews at the end. Oxford comma meaning anytime you have 3 items listed, you have a comma before the and.
Okay. So then the motion is to add an S to reviews after permits, plan reviews, to add the Oxford comma after reviews, to add an S to inspections, to strike is and replace with are after modular home, and to add an S to permit, making it permits, where it states with permits, plan reviews, and inspections. Does that sound like a fair motion?
And the Oxford comma after plan reviews at the end.
I said it.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Do I have a second?
I second.
And a second by Alderwoman Walker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Okay.
Section 5, paragraph A. The 4th line. Starts community or park upon proper application. I move to insert a comma after park.
Anything else in that column paragraph? No. All right, I got a motion by Mayor Pro Tem. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by. Tell your kids to settle down. And a second by Alderwoman CJ to insert an S after park to where.
No, a comma.
Oh, comma, sorry. Insert a comma after park to where it reads rental community or park, comma, upon proper application. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Okay,
Section 5, paragraph E2A. Insert a comma after mailing address. I'm sorry, I should have sent you all these comments before.
do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderwoman Walker to insert a comma after mailing address in section EA, 5EA. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed. Okay,
Section 5F. Insert the word a between make determination. So it reads make a determination.
anything else in that paragraph? All right, I got a motion by Mayor Pro Tem to insert the letter A between make and determination, reading make a determination. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Alderwoman CJ. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay,
5G, insert a comma after replace.
you see anything else? We're going.
Yeah, just a comma after.
Just the comma, okay.
Yes.
All right, we've got a motion by Mayor Pro Tem. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Alderwoman CJ to insert a comma after replace, reading replace, comma, or install. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay,
Section 6. Insert a comma after replacement. Remove where it says erection, replacement, or installation, insert a comma there, but remove the comma after mobile home replacement. And then add the comma after shall be conditional.
after shall be conditional?
Right, shall be conditional, comma,
Okay.
provided the following requirements can be met.
Okay,
I have grammar on my.
gotcha. Can we just table this and do these in the next meeting when we can get a clean copy? I just don't know how long it's
I
gonna
can
take.
email these all comments if, but I just want to try and get this done. And I'm sorry I didn't review this until my flight, so. And that's why I didn't get it in. I apologize. for that.
What's a, no need to apologize. What's a more efficient way to do this, right? Should we pass it on context and then provide the updates to be,
Can I just list all of them and just do one motion for everything? Cause I can go through them all. I have them all highlighted and just you guys tell me if you have an issue with anything. Okay, so can I just do that? I can get through it quickly. Section 6F. Replace the direction and change it to a direction. Visible from the street, not visible from the street. G, paragraph G, fire resistant should be hyphenated. Moving on to section I. Adding a comma in the third line, it starts off against uplift, sliding, rotation, and overturning, adding a comma after sliding, a comma after rotation. Paragraph J,
Time out. Say that one more time. So,
The third line in paragraph I says against uplift, sliding, rotation, and overturning, there should be a comma after sliding
okay,
and a comma after rotation.
okay, gotcha.
Paragraph J, manufactured homes structure, homes should be possessive with apostrophe S. And then the next line, it says, in a safe and efficient manager should be changed to in a safe and efficient manner. Paragraph K, first line, add a comma after placed or installed. So after placed, add a comma. And then the last line, it says open drains, gas line. It should be gas lines, plural. And then moving on to G. So 7G, it says a persons must pay. It should say a person must pay. Section 10, adding a comma after is a public nuisance and a comma after the chief of police. That is all my changes, or recommended changes, so.
So my motion is,
Need to restate it.
okay. So what is the
That
motion?
was,
I moved to.
Yes, I moved to make all of those
Changes.
edits.
I have a motion by the Mayor Pro Tem to make all the edits described previously. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman CJ. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Okay. After that, do we have,
So in the future, Mayor, just as a question, when I see little errors like that, can I just email them back to you and
yeah, I can make
the
that,
city attorney, or just send it straight to you?
it doesn't,
I'll just send it to you and then you can decide what to do with it.
I don't want her paying, I don't.
Oh, you don't, yeah,
To make-
absolutely, Mayor.
yeah.
I will send it to you.
so the mayor gonna make these changes?
No, you can do this one and then I'll do the next one.
I'll try, I apologize, I
No.
just didn't get to this one, because it was a second reading, but then I saw all those. So then, sir, I would move to accept the ordinance on manufactured homes as edited, or amended, excuse me, to adopt ordinance 2025-256, an ordinance of the city of San Diego, Texas, adopting regulations for manufactured homes as amended.
I'll second.
This is the second reading.
This is the second reading, yes.
All right, I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderwoman CJ to adopt ordinance number 2025-256 as amended, an ordinance of the city of San Diego, Texas, adopting regulations for manufactured homes. What, that's it, regulations for manufactured homes. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? All right.
Since our master fee schedule states that the city secretary is able to update the master fee schedule as we pass ordinances, I'm assuming that we don't need to do anything. Since we pass this ordinance, she can go automatically add those updates.
Yeah.
We don't need the city attorney or anyone else to do that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think we have the digital version, so. Excuse me,
Okay,
it's
just wanted to make sure because this did include, as we amended it before, the
Okay.
requirement to put those fees.
okay. All right. I'm gonna skip F really quickly, just because I know our animal control officer's here. Discuss and or possible action on ordinance 2023-220 Animal Shelter Advisory Committee. At 8:20, we're in discussion with this item.
6G.
Yeah, 6G.
So I did ask Ashley about this and reference this ordinance, and she was recommending that we consider Cassandra as the individual that fills the animal control role in that. I don't know if you had an opportunity to speak with them as we previously discussed or not.
I've spoke with the veterinarian that comes here, and he seemed relatively interested and said he would get us back a quote to
Oh.
attend our quarterly meetings.
Is it quarterly? I thought it was only twice a year that they had.
Is it twice a year?
It's 3 times a year.
Three times. Oh, so we're both on.
Yeah,
So
But
three,
they have to be here.
excuse me?
You can meet as many times as is needed.
but the vet needs to.
They must.
The vet needs to
attend
be here 3 times. It needs to inspect our facility, et cetera.
Right.
Okay,
Actually, but we could more or less quote it out because I mean, outside of his fee, he does provide for mileage. He sent a new invoice that kind of has his fees. So, but like with any highly trained individual, their time is valuable. So we can expect there to be a cost for his attendance.
absolutely. And is it within the animal control budget to
Yep.
take care of this?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our licensed vet. I guess we need that details and we can vote on it at the next meeting, or can
Yeah,
we vote?
I'll follow up with him because he was supposed to send that out. It's just been busy, so.
Okay, one alderman, could be alder person, but. The statute says alderman, oh my goodness,
Oh.
okay. So. So just so we can move this along, and we will have a new election coming up in November. I would offer myself to fulfill that alderman role until after the next election, and we see who else is on the board. Or on the council, unless, one of you two want to take it off.
No, but I have a recommendation
For the alderperson?
under membership.
Okay, well, I'm just going through the one at a time. So number one, the mayor has an idea. Number two, we've had this on the agenda a couple times, but no one's actually said anything, so. That's fine.
Would you accept the nomination as the alderperson for the Animal Shelter Advisory Committee
Until the next election?
until the next election?
Yes, until we get a new council on board and see who we have.
Then I find it fit.
So, and then one person whose duties include the daily operations of the animal shelter.
That's Cassandra.
So that's Ashley's recommendations, because she has all the admin stuff with running everything and getting the pups and cats. But he hasn't, so I don't know if you've spoken to her.
I don't think so. I thought about her too, right? Just, I think she'd be the right fit. I think she has the capacity to serve in the role, but we have a call. Me and her actually have a meeting Tuesday or something like that, so it's just,
Okay.
so.
So we still, and then it says one representative from an animal welfare organization. So I would ask whether you or Cassandra have someone from an animal welfare organization
Like Pets Alive or,
locally that would be interested in supporting this 3 times a year meeting, just to talk about what we're doing with our animal shelter.
well, there's San Antonio Pets Alive, right? I mean, you don't, maybe not nobody, but know anybody now, but maybe you can ask them, right?
Yeah.
That's,
Maybe when
you
we
know, a
meet
bunch of
with
welfare. I mean, not a vet, right? We
It
don't,
can't be a vet. Well, Animal Defense League, that might be considered an animal welfare organization, yeah. City attorney, yeah. So like from animal, if not a vet, but like an animal defense league or someone that's doing the low cost free spay and neuter clinics, not someone that's out making money, because that's not a welfare organization type thing. So, yeah, if you could look in that and maybe have an idea. And then I think you had some ideas on the citizen, because it also says city council may additionally appoint any other person it deems necessary for the effectiveness of the committee.
I think we need to state there needs to be some citizens on that board and decide on
yes.
how many, for the simple reason that we've taken the Animal Control Shelter Advisory Committee and added all the duties of Animal Control Advisory Committee. And when we had an active base of citizens, and I think you could still get, gradually pull people into it. we had a lot of active citizens that were doing those activities.
I think Miss Ashley has a citizen that's actually interested in
Right.
volunteering.
Miss Wanda Harvey, she was here, she was wanting to be one of the people, but she had to go to work. So she wouldn't able to stay,
Yeah, I thought you wanted to do the CCRB.
I think she wanted to do either one.
Okay,
I know that I had talked to her about it, she was on the fence on which one she
Yeah.
wanted to do.
but she did reach out to me too and showed interest. So that's good.
And she told me the other day that she was only able to stay.
She works overnight or something like that.
Um,
I did have another person who was interested in it, but she's adamant, like she's tried to show up the last 2 or 3 meetings just with work. So that would be the only concern is she works overnight. So if we have meetings and they run long, she's gonna have to leave. But it's better that we get somebody here.
But this council meeting, this committee meeting doesn't need to be part of the city council meeting.
No.
No, that could be
So
done,
they could work it could be on a Saturday afternoon or something like that.
right, as long as we're willing to pay Thunder for working on a Saturday.
Right.
So she would be the city employee. So, we're getting closer. And city council shall appoint one member of the committee to serve as chair for a term of 2 years. So to do all of this, Cassandra, do we need like a resolution or something? As we get, once we get all of these 4 names and the citizens we want to appoint, what's the next step once we finally identify them?
Once we identify them, I think, I don't know if the council passed resolutions for these appointments, it's just been kind of a slate appointment of, everyone on the committee.
Okay, and then what is oh, there it is, the Texas Health and Safety Code 823.005. Is that the one that has to do, that explains the Animal Shelter Advisory Committee?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it should have the requirements of the members, meetings. And I don't know if it has responsibility. Turned.
Okay, so we have Miss Wanda already. Mayor's gonna talk to Cassandra on Tuesday. You're gonna see if you can get someone from an idea for an animal welfare organization representative. Again, it's a mandatory 3 times a year is the commitment we're looking for. Just to help make sure we're doing things properly within our animal shelter and hopefully taking steps to help improve the animal welfare environment in our city.
Kind of circling back under membership. So I see the licensed vet, the 1 alderman, the person whose duties include daily operation of an animal shelter, and 1 representative from the welfare organization. I don't see anything about a resident or citizen.
Right, but the next sentence says the city council may additionally appoint any other person it deems necessary for the effectiveness of this committee. And we've had this conversation the last couple meetings that due to the fact that we, as Alderwoman Walker just explained, due to the fact that we combined those 2 organizations, I forget what the other one was called, into this one, and the other committee had citizens on it. We
That's the-
felt that it made sense to have citizens in here as
That's
well.
what it would, that's the person that we would deem necessary for effectiveness. I got you.
Yes.
Okay.
And if we had other citizens, because you said you have someone else, that would fall under that. If we had a couple citizens that wanted to volunteer for that, I think it'd be good to have a representation from the town, as Alderwoman Walker explained.
Okay. I'll reach out to him because his concern was, he thought originally it was to serve the shelter and like daily help it out, right? And I said, no, that's not the point of it. You certainly can volunteer. But
Those
that's,
are some of the duties that are mentioned in
Yeah.
the,
but he's like, I have other things that I'm committed to. I can't do it every day. And I said, no, that's
Oh.
not.
No, this is
Not-
just to,
right,
just to
right.
make sure we have a plan. What is the future of our
Right.
animal shelter? Are we doing things safe? Do we have a
Right.
good environment? And I'll read the actual code and get a better idea if that's a role that
but you have to look at the what's it called? The requirements or the purpose and general duties of the Animal Control Advisory Committee. Because council added those duties.
is that listed in our ordinance? It's not listed in this ordinance?
No.
So where is that in? Is that in Texas code somewhere, ma'am?
No, the- it might say in here that we combine the two. but
It
that-
does, whereas the city council abolishes the Animal Control Advisory Committee by ordinance number 2023
Right.
221 and desires to authorize additional duties to the Animal Shelter Advisory Committee.
To perform those functions
Previously.
previously authorized to the Animal
Yeah.
Control Advisory Committee by ordinance. So it looking, we might want to add, I think it's F and G or E and F from the Animal Control Advisory Committee.
Because we didn't capture,
Purpose
they
in
didn't
general.
capture any of those requirements in here, it just says to
No.
incorporate them.
Just says to
Yeah.
incorporate them. I don't think it does.
Well, look at section 2. I mean, I don't know if it's there or not, but it,
There is some of it in here. Any other duties as prescribed by the chair, city council, and animal shelter facilities.
Because you were involved in that when you were previously on the.
Yeah,
committee.
yeah, and at one point we had 12 citizens involved.
Really, that would be
Yeah.
amazing.
It really helped out.
so can we go back to the board and, not to the board, but to the drawing table and say, okay, the section 2 purpose for what we have here, right? The Animal Shelter Advisory Committee, and then contrast the Animal
Right.
Control Advisory Committee and see what's missing and then blend them?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
That's what I'm recommending.
Right.
See if it's all included.
Right.
How long is that?
This is gonna be 3 times a year,
A minimum of.
a
3
minimum.
times
Now,
a year.
everybody else can meet as often as they want to, right? Like,
Right,
The citizens and animal control can meet, but the people we're paying to come in, the welfare, the vet. They are required, the
normally
vet
it's
has-
like monthly or if needed every 2 weeks, but normally it's like monthly or quarterly even.
But the
it
vet has to
depends
come and
on-
look at the facility
Right,
3 times a year. I'm
I-
gonna
I
read the
just wanted to
code.
be able to like pretend to know, like.
Well, I think the mayor's gonna talk to her
Yeah.
on Tuesday.
how much, 'cause if she doesn't want to do them, obviously, but, I just feel like that would give her a little bit more
exposure.
exposure
Yeah.
and would allow her to step into that kind of,
mhm.
because I thought I'll be. But if she doesn't want to, I just want to be able to, but.
Alderwoman Walker, can you take on going back and looking at the
Yeah.
other ordinance and seeing what
Yeah.
you think we need to get incorporated into this?
Yes,
Because you're right, there's some of the duties might have been incorporated. But there's nothing that calls out specifically what used to be from me.
I think that's
Animal
because I think
control.
council did it simultaneously where they abolished one committee and adopted this ordinance or
Yeah.
amended it to.
Yes.
So it should all be included, unless council specifically did not want a duty, then it was not at that time.
Right, and I
At
think,
that time.
I think Alderwoman Walker thinks there should be some things from the Animal Control Advisory Committee.
I just need to make sure it's not in there.
Because she used to be involved in that. Just to make sure we're capturing everything we need in this one committee. All right. So we're getting closer.
So my job is to find the, and the person
Welfare,
for now.
yeah, the welfare, and then let's talk to Cassandra. I can talk to her too, but
And,
you wanna bring it up?
it's,
before I-
Texas Health and Safety Code is what talks about the animal advisor, animal shelter advisory. And it's listed in that ordinance that I texted you earlier.
Do we need a motion to task CJ to read the table of what's missing and what's not?
I don't think so, no,
Okay.
because she's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just gonna work on it for the next time.
We're just gonna try and. We've been talking about this a little bit each meeting and we're getting there slowly because we just need to. Try and get after the animal problem in this town, so we're not chasing pigs down the street. Yeah.
Okay, so are we good for right now on this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So then we will bring that up at the next meeting. All right, so you're good. All right, rolling back, one item, 6F. Discuss under possible action on ordinance 2021-181 Citizen Complaint Review Board.
And we were just down one citizen and Mr. McNeil just volunteered. for that.
Yeah, Mr. McNeil, I was gonna say he wanted to do it and Wanda wanted to do it, so, but we can split it so that way
Oh.
he has one and she has one.
what all citizens are you talking about? Cause I only have, John Crickmer, David Jones, and Mr. McNeil. That's
Yeah.
only three.
How many did you need?
There's supposed to be four.
Well, Wanda,
Who did we lose? Because we had a full staff when we put,
I moved over
right, then who did we lose besides
and
you?
I think we lost
Well,
David Wilson.
yeah. That name sounds familiar.
David Wilson.
Although I could get with Delma if she has the NDAs and the background checks from September, I
Yeah.
believe was when we did it.
Just to see who was there.
Pardon?
Just to see who was there and see if they're still around
Right.
or still want to do it.
Right. Because he was proved, if
Yeah.
I remember right, in September.
Rather than doing
And-
any background. check.
And I mean, we just haven't engaged, right? But because, for whatever reason, so.
Right.
He
But
may
we
still,
have to engage, right, until something comes up. It's
Right.
not like a recurring meeting. We just
so
need to
so
make.
he may
sure.
still want to do it.
He may still want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
But
we
we
need
have
at
to
least
make
one.
sure that the new people, any new people that have not signed the NDA and had
Right.
background check have it done.
Do you have the paperwork to do that for Mr. McNeil?
I think the chief does the background check and,
I
think
think
Would
he
you
has-
have the information so the chief can do that?
yeah, I think it's good.
Okay, perfect. And then
I think Delma has a copy of the NDAs.
you have
Some-
contact information for all the people on the citizen complaint review board? Yeah,
Right.
can you make sure that Alderwoman, Walker
Tuesday when I'm here.
has, yeah, she just has all that contact so we can, and then we'll know. So we can just bring that back to the next meeting and find out, are all those citizens still interested? Because that would be it, then we could finally drop this off of our agenda.
Right.
Okay, so then I'll look for the NDA and the background check, or I'll work with Delma and find the NDA and background check, make sure the chief has that to conduct it on whoever we appoint.
But we need at least one, so we can start with McNeil now.
Yeah.
And then if she finds out one of the other citizens are no longer interested in fulfilling that.
Yeah.
Then we can talk to Ms. Wanda Harvey and
Right.
see if she still wants to do, if she's willing to do both, the Animal Shelter Advisory Committee and Citizen Complaint Review Board.
Okay. Fair enough.
But we definitely need McNeil.
McNeil, we need to get started. Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. And I'll get that done. Anything else? Any further discussion?
I didn't.
No, okay. All right, then let's move on. Discuss under possible action of ordinance 2019-135 trap neuter release.
And again, I think we wait until we get the Animal Shelter Advisory Committee and then they have a discussion and make any recommendations on what we need to do as far as the TNR.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Let's move along. Okay, 7B, discuss enter possible action on resolution 2025-228, ratifying the purchase and acceptance of donations of certain personal property from the Texas Facilities Commission Federal Surplus Property Program, declaring certain personal property surplus and ratifying the donation or disposal of personal property and related matters. And I did send that. So it should have been, you should have a list of all the items that we're doing.
So I just had a general question on this.
Mm.
Why did this organization have to donate the stuff to us, or in the case of the cots, sell it to us in order for it to go to Kerrville?
I don't think they sold it to us, although,
They did.
There's a cost, there's a receipt.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the cots we paid for, well under. But again, I'm just trying to understand why they had to go through us. Why didn't they just go straight to Kerrville?
I don't think they had to go through us. I think we just went over there and asked them what do y'all want to donate? And donate by, I say it loosely because we had to pay for it, but it was at a steep discount to be donated to Kerrville. So I don't necessarily think they had to, we were just the boat ride over there. I don't know, that's a great answer, but.
But we did pay for some.
Right,
items.
right. Yeah, and there's some stuff in here too, right? Like, the vest, I wanna say that was actually ours to keep. The wet floor, I think that was ours to keep. But a lot of this other stuff, right? So the sheet beds, you notice there's a zero quantity. I mean, there's a quantity of 4, a unit of 0, and a total of 0. The picnic table, I wanna say that was ours for here. The straps, those were ours. The canopy, I wanna say that's ours, but I'm not 100% certain.
But pretty much the items we paid for were for city.
Yeah.
for city use.
Correct.
Everything
Everything
except
that's
for
in
the-
0,
The cots.
right, except for the cots.
You know, we didn't break any laws.
And some of them ups.
Yeah,
Buckets.
yeah, I think the roll around thing, that's ours. But yeah, the mop and the buckets.
I move for resolution 2025-228. Resolution City Council accepting donations of certain personal property from Texas Facilities Commission, Federal Surplus Property Program. Where certain personnel property surplus and ratifying the donation of disposal of personal property, providing for severability and providing for effective.
Do you have
A
a
second.
I do have a motion by Alderman Tremblay, and I do have a second by our Mayor Pro Tem to adopt resolution number 2025-228. Resolution of the City of Council of the City of Sandy Oaks ratifying the purchase and acceptance of donations of personal property from the Texas Facilities Commission Federal Surplus Property. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed. All right. That moves right along. Discuss or possible action on resolution number 2025-229, verifying that the cybersecurity training required by the Texas Government Code 2054-5191 has been completed by certain city employees and elected or appointed officials, verifying completion of an audit, authorizing the mayor to deny access to an individual in noncompliance, and authorizing the city secretary to submit the report. I can confirm that all of our employees have completed their cybersecurity program. From the police officers to public works to animal control to city secretary and court clerk, we are all in compliance. I have their certificates. So I have no problem asking for you to make a motion to
Does-
adopt.
Employees and elected officials. Do you have verification that every one of the elected officials?
Well, so yes and no. So I've taken it because I have access to a lot of the files. Most of the time, yourselves included, do not have access to the files and the electronic.
I know, but we're still supposed to do it.
A certain percent, if you have a certain percentage of, access to city files or city websites, then
So not everybody has to do
not
it.
everybody has to do it.
You're the only one that has to. It just says elected or appointed. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure. So like, you're the only elected or appointed official in this
Yeah.
city that needs to do it.
Because I'm jumping into payroll, I'm jumping into the accounting, I'm not into the PD, but I'm into everything that we're doing here as
Okay,
the
so
administrator.
you are the only elected one, and then
Does,
every employee has.
does that include those that have access to the back end of the website? Is that included in there?
I don't think, does the website have city employee information outside of what is public? I don't think it has access to private information,
No, I don't believe it does.
so
No.
I would say you're fine, but I will deflect to Cassandra.
So it's officials who have access to the city's computer system or database and use the computer to perform at least 25% of their duties.
Oh,
You don't do that.
no.
And then the second whereas does say elected or appointed officials required to complete, so it's not that they are all required, if those that fall into that first paragraph category are the ones required.
So don't show up 25% of your day here. It'll be fine.
All right, move to approve the resolution 2025-229, resolution City Sandy Oaks, verifying the cybersecurity training required by Texas Government Code, blah, blah, has been completed.
A second.
All right, I got a motion by our Alderman Tremblay and a second by Mayor Pro Tem to adopt resolution number 2025-229, verifying that the cybersecurity training required by the Texas Government Code has been completed by certain city employees and elected or appointed officials. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, moving right along. We will not do D because I have not received the certified appraisal roll and tax rate calculation. So that will be on the next agenda, and I've already reached out to Bexar County to ask for it, but have not heard back. Discuss under possible action, so moving on to E, discuss under possible action on ordinance 225-255, ordering a general election to be held on November 4th for the purpose of electing Alderman Place 1, Alderman Place 3, Alderman Place 5, and ordering a special election to be held on November 4th, 2025 for the purpose of electing Alderman Place 4, an unexpired term and related matters. I don't have the MOU. We have not heard back from them. Have you heard anything from the election officials? You asked for it, yeah.
No, they're not gonna mail them out. They don't have any. We just have to use what we had last year.
No, it's the contract that we're using Bexar County to hold the election. It's different. Yeah.
No. So I got an email saying that they don't have.
No, I know, but this is something different. But this is the contract for us working with Bexar County to hold the election for us. Yeah.
Tells us something and we find it.
Okay. So,
So it is gonna be held.
okay. So, yeah.
What's the date and time we're gonna put in section 70?
Hold on.
It's 7 for the drawing. Last year, it
The
was,
18th is the deadline.
right, so last time the drawing, because again, we had to do a drawing last time, there was 2 people running for alderperson position 5.
Those who's
So
first.
their drawing was done like 10 minutes after the deadline.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we want to do it the same way, do it the next day, just what's the standard? And there's no need to do one unless there's 2 people that apply for the same position, but we need to fill that in before we approve the ordinance.
That can kind of be recommended by the city secretary, because she would have to stay after hours for the drawing, since it's on a Monday. She can do it the next following morning, 10 o'clock. It's really what.
So you remember how we had to draw to
Yeah.
see whether myself or?
Yeah. And we can do that. That's all.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I'm done. So
So just do it at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock on the 18th,
Well, the deadline is 5, so
5:05.
5:05.
5:05.
You willing to stay 5 minutes late to do the drawing now?
And she's
Oh.
here until 8:49 on Thursday, so she can do 5 minutes. Yeah.
also need time to go to the post office or the PO box to check whether
Mm.
anything is there, because they do have until 5 o'clock to get it,
Postmarked.
not postmarked,
Oh,
like in the mailbox.
in the
or
mailbox.
in the.
So she
city
Well,
has
mailbox.
to go
But
check.
mail delivers once a day, so,
Oh, okay, then that.
so we, as long as we check it by the end of the day,
Mail.
the mail, this one in the post office, then I think 5:05 is sufficient, because they only deliver once.
We're asking you, are you comfortable with that?
Oh, yes, I did it last year.
So,
Fine.
Why don't,
I did it after 5.
why don't we roll Jeremy out at 4 o'clock to go check the mail? That's why, that way it's as late as possible, and then the mailman here comes at 1 o'clock, more or less. And then that puts us at 5:05, because then no other mail can be delivered at that point,
But any applications coming in, she should have.
Yeah.
If
unless they mailed it
there.
in, unless they.
That's the city secretary saying, I mean, the city attorney saying they could have mailed it, but we have to make sure we check that. So,
So I think that's a plan. 5:05.
all right, I move to add to section 7. So that it reads, the drawing to determine the order in which the names of candidates are to be printed on the ballot for the election will be held at 5:05 PM on August 18th, 2025 at the City Hall, 22870 Priest Road, Sandy Oaks, Texas. And the same thing where it says that in Spanish, but I'm not gonna attempt to read that.
I can try.
You like that?
El sorteo para determinar el orden en que parecerán los nombres de los candidatos en la boleta para la elección tomará lugar a las 5:05 el 18 de agosto de 2025 en el edificio municipal 22 800 Priest Road, Sandy Oaks, Texas. Very nice. Not bad. The only thing is when it asks for everybody to sign it, right?
Wait. I made a motion to
No, I
add
know,
that.
I know, I know, but I'm just looking.
Did anyone second?
Nobody seconded. I just started reading in Spanish. All right, so I got a motion by the Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderwoman CJ to insert 5:05 PM on August and the 18th, 2025 at City Hall 22870 and the same time and date in Spanish. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Alderwoman
I did.
CJ.
So the three of us that are here and you can sign it now, but do we all have to sign it at the same time? Cause I know the other two older men will need to sign it too.
But y'all, made the motion, for the amendment, but not. pass it.
Right, we're just talking.
We're just
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we actually do that, yeah. Do we all have to sign it at the same time is my question to you, man? Yes, so, and then. You have a phone copy, so. Well, not if we- I mean,
If they don't sign it, so effective.
it's still effective, okay, well, then, so. Well, that's just it, our next meeting isn't until August 14th.
We can have, it'll be here tomorrow. It'll be here tomorrow.
Okay,
So if anybody can swing by.
Okay,
Yeah, you begin.
I move to accept ordinance 2025-255, an ordinance of the city council of the city of Sandy Oaks, Texas, ordering a general election to be held on November 4th, 2025 for the purpose of electing Alderman Place 1, Alderman Place 3, and Alderman Place 5, and ordering a special election to be held on November 4th, 2025 for the purpose of electing Alderman Place 4, unexpired term.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion by Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderman Tremblay to adopt ordinance number 2025-255. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas, ordering a general election to be held on November 4th, 2025 for the purpose of electing Alderman Place 1, Alderman Place 3, Alderman Place 5, and ordering a special election to be held on November 4th, 2025 for the purpose of electing Alderman Place 4, an unexpired term. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Right. We will move right along. All right, next item is discuss under possible action on resolution 2025-231, authorizing and allowing health and accidental coverage for certain classes of officials electing to participate as provided by Texas Multi-State Government Intergovernmental Employee Benefit Pool DBA Texas Health Benefits Pool pursuant to section 17204 of the Texas Government Code and related matters. And the purpose of this is annually we do need to adopt a resolution to allow for our judge to maintain health coverage.
So doesn't our judge work for other towns as well?
Mhm.
Then why are we the one providing his health coverage?
He pays for it. We just have him join our health pool.
So we don't pay any,
Right. He provides his
okay,
yeah, he pays us.
to provide health and accidental coverage.
Say it again, sir?
He pays his own premium.
Yeah, he pays his own premium.
And the city has no cost associated with this, he's just allowed to use our vehicle to get the coverage
Yeah,
for
the
his
health
family.
care. Yep. Questions on this one?
No, most approved resolution 2025-231. Resolution of City Council of Sandy Oaks authorizing and allowing help and accidental accident coverage for certain classes of officials. Electing to participate in a provided multi-state intergovernmental employee benefit pool.
I second.
Right, I have a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by our Mayor Pro Tem to adopt resolution number 2025-231, authorizing and allowing health and accident coverage for certain classes of officials electing to participate as provided by Texas Multi-State Intergovernmental Employee Benefit Pool, DBA Texas Health Benefits Pool, pursuant to section 172.004 of the Texas Government Code. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye, sorry. Think I caught you mid-drink, right? All right, okay, moving right along. Discuss under possible action on resolution 2025-232, designating an officer or employee to calculate no new revenue tax rate and the voter approval tax rate. Traditionally, I have done this. If anybody would like to do it, they are more than welcome to. But yeah, I've done this for the last 3 years. So if you would like to
I
elect
move
me,
to accept resolution number 2025-232, a resolution from the City Council of the City of San Diego, Texas, designating an officer or employee to calculate no new revenue tax rate and the voter approval tax rate.
Second.
I didn't even get a chance to ask y'all. I just appointed. Okay. I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Alderwoman CJ to adopt resolution number 2025-232, designating the mayor as the officer or employee to calculate no new revenue tax rate and the voter approval tax rate. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Time is now 8:58. We will move to executive session. Okay, time is now 9:13. We are in session. We will jump to agenda item 7I. Discuss and/or possible action on a change in compensation for Public Works employee Jacob Canales.
Move to authorize a pay increase of $2 an hour per hour for employee Jacob Canales,
Effective Wednesday.
effective and next full pay period.
A second.
So I got a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Alderwoman CJ to authorize a $2 pay increase for Public Works employee Jacob Canales effective in the next full pay period. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? I don't think we missed anything, did we?
Nope.
And if we did, we'll postpone it.
I move to adjourn.
That is now 9:14. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.